everybody, this is Cheri at djsundries.blogspot.com and welcome to another Close to My Heart Thursday. I am still using my Free to Be Me paper pack because it's so versatile and I wanted something really bright and fun, and though it's not available and there are others that are, it goes perfectly with this month's stamp of the month for June, the Kaboom, which is actually a 4th of July one. And it has a lot of really fun stamps on it. It's got one that says Kaboom, let's celebrate, party, admit one to a real jubilee, you're the bomb, fun, what a blast. And then a lot of like what reminds me of Robin Hood and Batman, or not Robin Hood, Batman and Robin, bang, pow, bam. And then stars and rockets and fireworks and just all sorts of fun things. So this one is really for the 4th of July, but it's for other things as well, as you will see in what I'm making today. So as I said, I'm using the Close to My Heart Free to Be Me paper pack, and I used 2 or 3 different papers from this one. And then from the Enchantment cardstock assortment, I'm using the Corn Blue. And then I'm using 2 Cricut cartridges. Now this really is a simple card, but I just was playing and having a good time with it. So the first thing that I'm using is this on page 61. Let me come back to page 61 here. Because this month's stamp of the month has a few images on it that go with the Art Philosophy cartridge. And you know, if you've watched hardly any of my videos, Art Philosophy is my very favorite Cricut cartridge, period. Not just from Close to My Heart, but favorite Cricut cartridge, period. And so on this one, we're using this circle number 5, and it says right on it, for this one, to cut it at 1.5 inches, and it tells me what page to go on. And that's really neat. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different shapes that are on this stamp set that coordinates with the Art Philosophy cartridge. So what do you have to do to get that? All you have to do is place a $50 order before shipping and handling over at Close to My Heart, and I'll put the link to my Close to My Heart store down, and you can, if you place that $50 order, you can get this Kaboom set. Then I also use the Artiste cartridge because actually I am making a card for my dad for Father's Day. And I know there's not one thing on there that says Dad or Father's Day or anything, but you'll see how it's working out. But I needed a few things on this page. I decided to go with this card, which is on page 49, that has a belly band on it. And then I also decided I wanted to cut a rosette. So I'm going to close that up. The way the Cricut Art Philosophy cartridge works is you find the Artiste cartridge, as some of these items in here are more dimensional and require some extra work. And so, for instance, this little bag right here, there's a number on it, and that you would correspond it. It says 4, and what that means is it goes on. You would go back to the second book and go to page 4, and it gives you step-by-step instructions on where to glue and where to fold and how to fold. Well, in this case, I was doing a rosette, and I did the rosette from page 49. So if I go here onto page 49 and nope, I'm wrong. Page 50, and I chose this, what's kind of a blue-purple rosette on it, and this says go to page 23. So I go here and I find page 23, and it tells me all of the rosettes that it's telling me how to do, and they are all pretty much the same. Now what I have done is I have there are score marks on it. I've actually pre-scored it, and I've actually adhered. You cut 2 for a rosette, and I've actually already adhered those 2 pieces together using my Scotch Quick Dry. And so I have this circle. You can see that I have done that using the Cricut. This is the Free to Be Me paper. And I actually am going to turn it on the red side. So then you're going to turn it. You want to be sure you turn it the right way. You don't want to turn it this way because it wouldn't be, your ruffles would all be on the inside. I don't even know if you could turn it this way. But it's going to be really simple now that this is all assembled and dried, which is one reason I really like using the Scotch Quick Dry, because it dries very, very quickly. So again, this is the shape that I have cut using the Art Philosophy cartridge, and I'm going to use this stamp that says "You're the Bomb." Now I have to say, this is going to kind of take my dad by surprise, because I do not talk like that at all. Very rare. I might talk like that to my son, but my dad, I have never said anything like that to my dad, I don't think. So it'll kind of take him by surprise. And I'm going to just go off camera here, otherwise my head will end up in it, so that I can see how to line it up. And if it's not perfect, I'm really okay with that. It's still going to be nice. So as you see, let me just move this here. I'm stamping on my little foam mat that came with the stamp set to give me a good even pressure. And there we have "You're the Bomb." Now, I am using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, which is one of my favorite black inks, and I have not purchased the black ink from Close to My Heart yet, and I'm really excited to be able to do that pretty soon, or sometime in the future. But right now I've been building up other inks that I needed more for workshops and stuff. So for now I'm using my Memento Tuxedo Black, and it gives a nice black image. Now the paper that I'm using for that is the green paper, or kind of the chartreuse paper that was in the Free to Be Me stack. And on one side it's really smooth so that you can stamp. On the other side it's got some texture from embossing on it. And so I'm using the smooth side to do the "You're the Bomb." So I'm going to just set that aside. And then we're going to assemble our little rosette. Now that, like I said, it's a circle, so it's pretty easy to assemble. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it together just like that. Now I'm going to put my "You're the Bomb" on the top. And then I have found when I'm making rosettes, and this is the first time I've used my Cricut cartridge to make the rosettes. Usually I use my Tim Holtz dies to do that. But what I have found in all the rosettes that I have made is that it's best to have a bottom piece and a top piece. Like I said, usually am using my Tim Holtz rosettes, which I haven't pulled out for a long time, and they are great. Don't get me wrong, they are great. But I wanted, the nice thing about the Cricut ones from the Artiste cartridge is that you have different shapes of rosettes. So usually what I like to do is just kind of hold it, and you can see I got my finger right into that, pick that up. And the Scotch Quick Dry dries very quickly, but you're going to want to keep some pressure on it, because it looks like I may have just cut that one a little bit too small. But for this one, it will go perfectly right there. And I'm just going to make sure that it's all held in there tight, and I'm going to hold some pressure on it. I may need to go back and cut a little bit larger circle for the bottom, and that's okay if I do. But you have to do something to kind of seal it off, or you end up having trouble holding it. And like I said, with the Scotch Quick Dry, it dries very quickly. And though it's not completely dry, it holds its shape really well once it's partially dry. So I'm just going to continue to hold that there. And while I'm actually going to move it off to the side of the camera and continue to hold it, and I'm going to show you the card that I made. The card that I made was the one with the belly band, and I actually cut it twice. And the reason why is because the paper that I'm using is double-sided paper, and I wanted a solid inside so that I could write on it. And I was going to just cut it and like you would normally line a card, but I decided that I was going to cut two of them and just adhere them to each other, and I've already done that. So this is the outside of my card. Now this is the back side, and it already comes with the rounded corners, and then I'm just decorating it very, very simply. And let me just wipe off my fingers here, because that is just about dry. And you will see that when I flip it over, I have decorated it just with the word Dad. Now what I did for these letters is I cut these letters at 1.5 inches, from the Art Philosophy cartridge. And I cut it 3 times in the same blue that's on the inside, the corn blue. I cut it 3 times and then adhered it on top of each other. And that's what you see peeking out on the holes. Because if you look at the letters on the Art Philosophy cartridge, which I really like and I thought that was perfect, then you've got 2. You've got your regular font here that is the solid font, and then there's one that has these little cutouts in it. So I cut 3 of them in the blue and just stacked them up and glued them together. And then I cut the 4th one in the chartreuse, like what I'm doing with the belly band. And then, so you have the blue peeking out. And then I just took a little piece of this paper, and I think I cut it at 3.5 inches because it's a 4.5 inch card. And I cut it at 3.5 inches so that I could still have plenty of that fun paper. The reason I chose this paper is because it just reminds me of the bomb that we're talking about. So that is the card, and it was super simple once I decided on what I was doing. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm sure you saw that I took my hand away from this. So there is the You're the Bomb, and by cutting my rosette at 1.5 inches, it made it just the perfect size to fit in my belly band. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that down. And I'm going to be fairly generous. In fact, I think what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to grab my, this is a 1-inch circle, and cut a little bit larger circle just to reinforce that so that I have something to glue it down. And so I'm just going to go like this, just like so, and that'll just give me a little bit more reinforcement there. Otherwise it will not, it might come up. So then I'm going to just glue that, and I'm being pretty generous with the glue because I am mailing this card. It obviously will not go in a regular envelope because it would not survive the mail. I will put it in probably a padded envelope, and then, or I haven't decided quite what I'm doing yet for him. I will either mail it to him just like that, or in a padded envelope, or I'll put it inside of a box. Haven't decided yet. So there we have that, and there's our belly band. Now, because I added so much bulk, one of the reasons I didn't want to add a whole lot of stuff to this is because I wanted the belly band to connect, and that's one thing that I noticed was a bit of a problem. However, there is one more thing I want to add, and I forgot to get it. I have these durable studs, and you can get those from the Close to My Heart catalog. And as always, if you head over to my blog, I will leave links to all of these products on my blog so that you can purchase your own. But these are the studs, and I'm going to put one in the upper corner, just like that. And you see I'm kind of catawampus on my letters and even on my little stud things, and that is by design. I meant for that to happen. I wanted it to be a little bit off-centered. And I think I'm going to, where should I put that one? Maybe I'll just kind of offshoot it just like that. And then, you know, this one, and these are sticking really well. They are adhesive, but because those two are going up, let's bring this one to go down just like that. Okay, and that won't interfere with my belly band at all. So then, now that this is just about dry, then we'll just bring this around. I've already pre-scored it, and it did give me a little, just, it goes almost right up to the edge. I'll have to be careful not to grab those studs with it. And then it will just come around, and oh, it's going to be a stretch. So think about that when you're doing a card with the belly band. You might want to cut your belly band just a little bit bigger so that you don't warp your card, kind of like I have here, or so that it will connect. So there we have our card, and this one's for my dad for Father's Day. And thanks so much for stopping by. I'll put the links to all the products on my blog at www.djsundries.blogspot.com, and then you can link up. Now, unfortunately, the Free to Be Me paper is not available, but there is a lot of fun paper, and you could do something fun with it. So thanks for stopping by today, and remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.